Welcome back, Bulletproof Ballers. Another podcast, another Sunday. We're freaking rolling. Today's episode is going to be an interesting one because just yesterday I had a call with someone who had cartilage damage, right? Like arthritis. And the funny thing is, her doctors recommend her to ice, but she herself found out what works better for her is actually to get an Epsom salt bath. So this gives you an insight into what we're going to dive into today. Kind of the avoiding the pain, kind of numbing the pain versus attacking it, and how do you attack the pain if you're struggling with knee pain as a footballer, right? What are you saying,
What
Liam?
am I saying? What are we saying, people? Yeah, 100%. Like, it's really like you can put it down to bulletproofing over time or like short term kind of pain relief, right? And then when you look at pain, it's like most people have a misinterpretation of what pain actually is. Pain is pretty much a signal of your body telling you that to not go to an area, right? So it thinks something is wrong. So it could not, like, it may be structure, it may not be structure, it may be because of a bunch of different things, but basically it's just your body communicating to your brain, right? So then if we do these things of numbing, icing, doing those things, then you're shutting off the communication, which isn't getting rid of the problem. It's just telling it to shut up. It's
Yeah,
like if your kid's crying, you just tell it to shut up rather than giving it some milk or something. It's like a short term fix rather than a long term cure, right? And we really want to look at the long term cure. So yeah, it's the same with everything in life, like dopamine as well. Like if you're pleasure versus delayed gratification, same thing. All of these principles are the same of like short term fast results usually aren't good for the long term. Whereas small improvements over the long term is usually like the real thing that is good, right?
yeah, and that's how connective tissue heals, right? It takes time to heal. We know there's less blood supply, but that doesn't mean that we're not trying to heal it, right? Or like it simply can't heal. Now it can't, right? And we know we want to dive into this a little bit deeper, and we know cool, like the avoiding the numbing the pain, that's the complete other side of the spectrum of like, okay, like we're actually doing what your body was naturally designed to do, right? Because if sometimes inflammation happens, right, chronic inflammation is not good, but the acute inflammation is there for a reason, right? So we're not trying to like just numb that down and take it away completely, because again, inflammation is a lot of blood flow to that area, a lot of blood that actually brings the nutrients, right, to heal a certain area. And most footballers, right, that we're talking to, it's not that they have like this quad injury and then because of that they have knee pain. No, they have actual damage to their connective tissues, right? They have ACL tears, they have meniscus tears, they have patella tendon degeneration, they have cartilage damage, all these connective tissue injuries, right? So we got to make sure, okay, like there it's even more important to nail the healing down, because yeah, they take longer to heal, but they can heal, right? And we can do certain things for those things to happen more efficiently, rather than numbing the pain and then like having to stop the career at 25, right? So first thing I would dive into there is the simplest step, right, for footballers, actionable step is, instead of icing, right, throw these ice packs out of the window right now, right? Throw them out. Like there might be some time and place where it's like, okay, you really need to, get the pain down or whatever, and you use it. But most of the cases, right, especially if it's been more of a long-term issue, then you can really throw those ice packs out, right? And make sure, cool. Instead, you bring heat to the area. Now, question is how do we bring heat to the area? There's different ways, right? There is really different ways. Um, Especially when it comes to the internals of the knee, you can think about it in a way where, okay, you have to really do some like high repetitions, for example, right? Like if you want blood flow to get near to those tendons, ligaments, right, for especially where they kind of insert, where we know, okay, cool, there is actually some blood supply there. High repetitions is one thing that we're using, right? High repetitions in a pain-free range, getting a pleasure pump, okay, basically. That's one thing, and like Sled does that amazingly, right? Like Sled done it for so many people. Like it's just amazing. Banded knee extensions as well, just pumping it up, and actually making sure, cool, we're actually getting some heat there, we're actually getting some blood flow there. But it really doesn't stop there. Okay, so that just be the first step,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and like Kadeem says, like our bodies aren't stupid, right? The acute inflammation, like it's there for a reason. Like if you smash your head, if I smash my head on this wall now, it's going to develop a bump. It's going to develop something because the body's trying to heal it, right? Your body's not going to not try to heal you. Why would it do that? If you cut off a chameleon's leg, it regrows, right? We're not chameleons, but we are humans, and we've seen a lot of people heal from a lot of things, right? So that's the first thing. When we're talking about heat, it's like that's what the body's sending there. When you have smash your arm, for example, let's just take this example, and it's swelling up and it's sending all the stuff, that is your body doing what we just said of the blood flow, of the nutrients, of the healing, of the heat, trying to get all that stuff there so that the body heals. So instead of contradicting our body when we're putting heat on or something like that, what we're going to do is do the same thing and speed up the process, right? Support the body to be able to do that. And can you mention a few ways there of like the sleds, band and knee extensions and stuff like that? Which, yeah, those are exercises. The principles are better for you to learn. So the
Yeah,
reason that those are so good is because it's really high rep. It's concentric only. So eccentric is the way down of an exercise. So that's when the tissue is going to break down. That's going to cause more inflammation and stuff like that. So if you only have the concentric portion, it doesn't take long to recover from because the tissues aren't broken down. You can get way more reps in, like in something like a sledge, you can get hundreds of reps in literally like 5 minutes. Band and knee extension is the exact same thing. But you can apply this to any area of the body, right? If you've got something in the bicep, like boom, banded bicep curls, right? Boom, 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 in the short range. If you've got hamstring, banded hamstring curls, like super light, but like super high rep. Like there was this strength coach, Louis Simmons, who was like one of the best powerlifting coaches of all times. As people got older, to keep their tendons and stuff healthy, what he would do is he would do 14 sessions a week, and I think like 4, 5, 6 of those sessions were like heavy sessions, and the rest of them were just like really short and like really like high blood flow stuff to keep the tendons healthy. I think daily he would give his powerlifting athletes 700 banded hamstring curls to do a day to keep those tendons healthy. I think, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what he said. So, like, this is gonna keep the tissues healthy. It's gonna keep putting blood flow and stuff in there. Even if you go into a football game, and again, this is the difference between short term and long term. Right now, these are short term treatments. Long term, I want to be able to go into a football game not warmed up at all and just absolutely roll. Right, that is my goal, and I can. Right, I'm bulletproof. Like I can just bang out into reverse Nordics if I wanted to right now because boom, reverse Nordics, smashing it. Right,
yeah, yeah.
but at the point in time where I was like 2 years ago and I wanted to play, what I would do is like get fat pump into my knees and stuff, so the connective tissue would be pumped and all the blood would be in there. So then it would be a little bit more protected. So yeah, that's what I have to say on that.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's a good transition because that's what we do in the rejuvenate phase, right? We don't stay there forever. Like it is right now, if you're still in pain, your knee is still feeling aching, there needs to be a lot of healing done first, right? A lot of circulation, especially when we talk about, again, the connective tissues, then we got to get that done, right? But it's not where we stop, 100%, right? But even when it comes to the short term kind of thing, right, with the pumping a lot of blood to that area, it still helps you then to get into the long term thing. So you can also think about it as a, you're doing it for the long term, right? It is right now to have you feel better, but it's not something that you're wasting time, or like you could be working on something long term. No, no, put the work in now so you can actually then go into more of the rebuild stuff, right? That is the second phase we're going through with
Yeah,
people that come from an injury back to the sport.
exactly. If you just stay on band and knee extensions and sled for your entire time, you're not going to be ready, right?
Yeah,
Ben Patrick, our mentor, has a video and a quote where he says, "If a tiger came at you in the jungle, would you pump your knees first?"
yeah,
No, probably not. Like you want to be prepared to be able to sprint away from that bad boy.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, that's it. That's the simplest step, really, right? Like ditch the avoidance, the um reducing like the reducing the inflammation through painkillers or something like that, and go and pump up the area with the blood flow. And now you might be a little bit, like, okay, what about like cartilage, the person yesterday, right? Like, what about my cartilage? There's no blood supply. Well, we have something called synovial fluid, and again, that needs movement, right? To be able to produce synovial fluid, we need movement, right? And again, what brings the nutrients to the synovial fluid? Well, it's the blood again, right? And we need that circulation. We need, really, like, movement is medicine. That saying is out there for a reason, but it can be confusing if you don't know what exactly to do, because again, pain-free movement is the key here. Okay, that's why we're using these concentric dominant exercises where there's not a lot of stress on your connective tissues, but you can get movement in, right? Pain-free movement. And that's really how, okay, cool. Now the synovial fluid as well, amazing, brings the nutrients, the healing to these connective tissues that have less blood supply, right? And it's a beautiful thing, right? It's like, it's exciting, right? I wish I knew this like years ago, instead of icing. Like, I've done so much icing, so much pain reducing cream. Yeah. So yeah, that's the first step. Now I would say we go into a little bit more of the long term solution, right? For, okay, what happens once you getting the healing there, the blood supply, your area starts to feel better. What are you doing then?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, what do you do? Like, if someone came to you like, my knee starts to feel better now, but I really don't feel prepared yet, and like when I do go and play a lot, it still, hurts a little bit, so then I have to go back and do the blood flow stuff. What would you do then?
Yeah, I mean it's a long term thing, right? But and again, it depends on the specific issue. But it's to build a ridiculous amount of ability, right? So if you go into a football game and your knee hurts, that means the demand you're putting on it, whether that be through tension, force, like plyometric ability, or whatever it is, right? It's all tension at the end of the day. You're putting too much demand on your connective tissue than it can handle, or if it's a muscle issue, your muscle, or whatever, right? So, at the end of the day, the way that we are able to have more ability to absorb that demand that we're putting on in our connective tissue is by creating more ability in our connective tissue. Again, the concept by our mentor knees over toes guy. So basically, the concept is, again, depending on the issue, like there's some really good research that the ACL is better in like short knee angles, like 60 tension as challenge knee angles, activates living cells in the ACL and helps it to get thicker and stronger. Whereas, like something like the cartilage, there's more evidence where it says in deep knee bends, the cells get activated and then, yeah, it gets thicker and stronger over time. So it definitely depends on person to person, but there's principles as a whole which can get better. And those deep knee bends, no matter what, like you're gonna get stronger, your knees are gonna get better.
Yeah.
So again, the progression of knees over toes is going to be a very good thing. Like we're probably so used to it because like we've listened to Ben like hundreds of times, whatever. But people still think like, yeah, like I can't put my knee over toe and stuff like that. Whereas Charles Poliquin, who Ben's mentor, said the athlete that can put their knee furthest over the toe and is the strongest there is the more protected athlete, right? So we want to work from a progression where we go from less knees over toes to more knees over toes. So working from something like the sled to working to something like a hack squat or a sissy squat when the shin angle is going to be parallel to the ground and the knees are going to be way over the toes, right? Because that's going to be way more pressure on the actual connective tissue of the knee and the quads.
Yep. Yeah. And that's where we really do get the long-term adaptations, right? Because we know, okay, there is more pressure on those tissues now. Now we're not shying away from the pressure no more. Like that's the other thing, right? The avoidance of these positions that are weak, hinging into the hips, like offloading the knee joint. Now we're attacking it because it starts to feel better. And we know it's been an issue for you all your career. Like you've avoided it for so long. Now we attack that again, right? And the beautiful thing is the knee ability, right? Like it's you start at your pain free level again, and you progress from there. And the same way, we've done the rejuvenating before, now with the rebuilding as well, we're still using the same approach, right? Okay, still we get a lot of blood flow before, because again, something that happens a lot is, okay, yeah, I need to strengthen these areas, that's where I'm weak. let me jump into that and see where I can go. But we know if we do pump up the knee first, if we make it feel good first, and then we go into that, and then we throughout the session we can already progress from, yeah, as you said, like from a sled. That doesn't need to be like in separate stages. That's still like, for example, in the same session, right? Like the backward sled, then yeah, the Patrick step, Poliquin, whatever step of your variation you're using,
Yeah.
then going into more long range. And that's how people like within sessions sometimes unlock new ranges they never had before, right? And it's really a beautiful thing if you've lost it, right? And so many people have lost it. I think that's another topic for another day, like how to actually regain that childlike ability in the deep knee bend that so many people have lost, right? It's like
Yeah.
um yeah, like if you keep that up, you get really strong there, it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah. So the actual thing that we're talking about then is like their current pain free ability and progressing that over time, right?
Yeah.
Regressing to the level that they're at, wherever that is, and then progressing over time. And the two things that we go through in the rebuild stage is rebuilding joint dominance and rebuilding mobility. So yeah, Kadeem said we'll go into it in another thing, how we actually like go deep and how we actually rebuild that for people. But just know that our videos are out there to be able to watch if you want to get a head start on the people that haven't, the one the podcast hasn't been out yet. So yes, joint dominance and mobility are going to be the two things in the rebuild phase, right? Like if we create ability in those two things, especially in the knee, but again, in the ankles below the knee, in the muscles around the knee, in the hips above, like mobility and joint dominance through every single area of our body, right?
Yeah, 100%. And like this, we know, cool, this is amazing, and people start telling us already after doing that, especially if you had pain for so long. Like this is such a beautiful feeling already, unlocking these new ranges, feeling no pain going through day to day, right? And then it depends what the situation is like, right now, that the people might be listening to this that are still like a, now it's probably off season for most footballers listening, but it could happen, right? A lot of people, that's where they struggle the most. They're kind of in season, they're struggling with the pain. So these two steps still apply there in season, right? Just so you know, the rejuvenate, the rebuild
Yeah.
still applies in season, just gonna be slower, right?
Yeah, and the fact that like in season there's so much shorter mid range in football, in the gym, in what they're already doing. So balancing that out with the deep range of motion, especially like after a game when they're already pumped up and stuff like that, you're gonna make a lot of gains
Hmm.
because you haven't been doing it and you're unbalanced as anything, right? So if we build that stuff after the sessions or and then get some pumps and stuff before the sessions, we're still going to make a lot of gains, and we see that like we've had people come in like professional players and stuff, and they've had major issues for years and years and years, and then 3 months in season, and they're like, wow, like yeah, I feel like brand new. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, because it's just literally because you're immobile, you can't use your knee. Okay, cool. So if we get you more mobile and then give you the ability to start using your knee, you're probably going to feel a little bit better, probably.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And like even the a little bit better is already a big win, right? It's already a big win, because if you've been struggling with chronic pain, then you know, like all you want is to see progress, right? And if you know, okay, you can feel a little bit better, then you can, and that's how we work. Like, cool, you've made this progress now, even though you might feel stagnant right now. We know we can make that happen again, and then again and again, and stack the wins up. But eventually, we do want to get to more elite levels, right?
That's literally what I was thinking. That's
Yeah,
literally what I was about to go on to is like the return to sport phase and like the fact of like elite levels of like strength, mobility, all this kind of stuff. And then also that plyometric ability as well, whether that be football, whether that be whatever plyometric force, but
yeah.
especially the deceleration stuff.
Oh yeah, the deceleration. Like I'm not sure where I heard it again. I think it was on a, maybe you might know the name, but it's actually, for example, with the patellar uh, tendon pain, right? Or like the jumper's knee. It's actually decelerator's knee, right? Or
Yeah.
the
Tim
people that are
Riley.
struggling. Who is it?
Tim Riley.
Yeah, like amazing. Like it's beautiful because it makes sense. Like most people, including myself, right, had patellar tendinopathy. Jumping really wasn't the big issue, right? But landing, or like even just going downstairs, like that eccentric motion, that's where people struggle, right? So we want to put a lot of emphasis on building elite ability with that, right? Slowing down.
Yeah. Yeah. So the broader picture, the topic of today was like obviously numbing and taking away the pain versus like attacking it and like the long
Yeah.
term thing. So it's either like you're icing and you're in this constant loop, and then there's kind of like no progression from there, because whenever, like when I was doing this, like I was icing and stuff, and every time I would go back to try and train my knee again, my knee wouldn't have gotten better. So when I go back to train it, then the exact same thing would have happened, right? So I remember when I went in, I actually trained the sled for the first time ever. It was after a day of working on my feet hammers and stuff. But I even done the sled. This is how bad my knee was. I even done the sled, and my knee literally blew up like a balloon. I went home like upset and stuff and crying, and I iced it. And then the next time I went in and done the sled, a similar thing happened, right? Because I didn't do anything to address the tissues. Whereas now my real approach to that would be, okay, sleds cause pain. What's the regression from the sled? Okay, a few things. Literally walking backwards, maybe I would have been able to do that without any pain. Maybe banding knee extensions, maybe these stuff. But that's how I look at it now. It's like,
Hmm.
yeah, I can't do this. What can I do? And then build back up to that. So then I'd go back to the sled, and then I'll go back to the next thing, back to the next thing, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, the point is that in order to, what we look at instead is going through the three phases of the rejuvenate, the rebuild, the return to sport, and then bulletproofing people over time from hitting those elite standards cold, rather than having to spend 30 minutes doing a warm up just to feel good.
Yeah.
Whereas literally, like we can jump off goals without warming up. And like when I filmed that video, I had a video do pretty well. It's almost on a mil now, so we're absolutely wrong.
Nice.
But that video where I jumped off the crossbar, that's my legs were so sore. Like they're so sore because I smashed a leg day the day before. So like I was like in bits, and I didn't even warm up. I was like, I can't even be bothered to warm up. So I just went up and I done a crossbar, and with like muscle DOMs, which obviously with muscle DOMs and stuff like that, it is going to be, and probably connective tissue DOMs as well. Your body's not going to be able to protect yourself as well as it would have if it was fresh,
Yeah.
and not even warming up the tissues. Again, I'm not telling anyone to do this. I'm just telling you this is what I did. Without even warming up, I'm then able to jump off the crossbar after experiencing 5 years of knee pain, a snap kneecap, meniscus tear, ACL tear, cartilage damage, tendon damage. Right. So, do you think icing is going to do that for you? Like, or do you think that's the bulletproofing over time? Okay, that's the point of the podcast.
That's the point. That's it. Nailed down. Like and it doesn't mean exactly as Liam said. It doesn't mean not avoiding means okay. You go and directly attack it or do this crazy thing. Like you can not avoid something, right, by just doing something that goes into that
Yeah,
direction that we've now shown you, right? Like
and it takes years.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it
yeah,
takes years. I'm like four years from when I started ATG training now.
yeah,
Like about that. Obviously, like with my current knowledge, yeah, it may not be 4 years, but if I
yeah,
had this current knowledge back then, like if you got me as a coach right now, like you're well, rolling
yeah,
around.
yeah,
But it takes a long time. Like Ben on his Joe Rogan podcast, which I listened to again the other day, is like take 5 years. Like if it doesn't improve, like okay, go for something. But we know that if you spend 5 years doing it, it's going to improve in some way. It's just people can't look that long term. But it's like you've been dealing it. Like I had people come in dealing with it for like 14 years. I've had people having like they've gone through condylomalacia patella and then this 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 and this. Had an ACL meniscus tear. It's 14 years worth of damage. So I'm like, oh, can you fix it in 3 months? First off, I can't fix it all. Like you need to go talk to a physio, doctor, whatever. So if you then get certified to be able to train, okay, let's start training and see what we can do. Maybe we can improve your ability a little bit. I'm not going to say that's going to happen overnight, but let's just start trying something, start doing something for yourself rather than just like having to deal with this for so many years, right?
yeah,
So then it's like, okay, now a year and a half on, Edvin is now being able to play football and do all the stuff. But that didn't happen in like 2 or 3 months. That happened with constantly going back to the physio, checking with them. Okay, like how am I improving? Coming back to us, doing more strength and mobility, doing more. Okay, going back. Okay, coming to us, and it's that long term approach which people are missing. Right, I had 5 years of knee damage. I had 5 years.
Yeah.
Am I going to be able to fix that in even a year? Maybe, maybe not. Like, I don't care. I'm going to give myself 5 years because I personally didn't want another surgery. I could have gone for another surgery. I didn't want one, right? I was like, I'm not going anywhere near that. That was just my choice.
Yeah.
But what I did say is that, okay, right, I've been dealing with this for 5 years. If I go 5 years from now and I'm still dealing with it, then at that point I'll be like, okay, I'll give my hands up. I'll give myself up to the surgeon, right? And this is, again, not advice to anyone. It's just what I personally did.
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, 5 years later, I'm now hitting reverse Nordics and jumping off crossbars. So I personally feel like I made the right decision for
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be a personal decision. It's gonna be different for anybody, right? As you said, like for someone it may take longer. We've seen crazy stuff as well, where it's like, oh, like pretty much almost like magic. People can't believe it, but it's really when you start just allowing your body to do its magic, right? Like then you, even if that takes 1.5 years, it's still a beautiful thing. Even if it takes 2 years, it's still a beautiful thing. But you like by not doing that, you're cutting off the possibility of coming back in 1 month, coming back in 2 months, coming back in 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, whatever it's gonna take. But you're literally cutting that off by not going into this kind of stuff. Allowing your body to actually get the healing. So I think this is a big topic because as you said, like, it might take longer, it might not take as long, but this possibility we don't want to cut it off, and it's like the decision of cool, like I'm not going for another surgery, so I'm opening up this possibility, and let's see where it takes me. It's going to be a good time, anyways, right? The amount of stuff you've learned from this
Man.
is
And I had so many setbacks, like
yeah,
more setbacks than anyone would be able to believe. And like the mental toughness, having to go through that over and over again, is like nothing in the world I'd replace for it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, good place to finish. Again, topic was numbing, telling your body to shut up versus bulletproofing it over time. And again, bulletproof is relative. Even bulletproof vests aren't bulletproof. So
100%. Yeah,
yeah, everyone,
well said. Awesome. See
rolling.
you next week then. Bye bye.
Wait, let's make ballers bulletproof again.
Let's freaking make look. We need to freaking make Bosch bulletproof again. Like it's no joke. Like we keep saying it like every single week. Let's freaking
Yeah,
roll.
no,
All right. Bye bye.